What if your neighbors suddenly became your enemies, and the government did nothing to stop it? It's not the plot of a horror movie. That's exactly what happened in Colfax, Louisiana, in 1873, a small town, a disputed election, and one of the deadliest, most forgotten moments in American history. After the Civil War, Colfax was supposed to be a symbol of hope. Reconstruction was underway, and for the first time, freed black citizens could vote and hold office. But this new freedom was a threat to the old order. White supremacist groups were determined to regain control, and tensions in the small town quickly boiled over. Rumors started to fly, turning into open threats. People who had lived side by side for years, sharing the same streets and shops, suddenly couldn't trust each other. They started stockpiling weapons, preparing for a fight. The air grew thick with suspicion and hate. It was a powder keg waiting for a spark. That spark came in April 1873. After a fiercely contested local election, rival political factions both claimed control of the parish courthouse. To defend their recently won political rights, a group of black men, many of them veterans of the Union Army, occupied the building. They weren't looking for a fight. They were trying to protect their votes and their voices. But soon, they found themselves surrounded. Hundreds of armed white men, a mix of former Confederate soldiers and members of groups like the Ku Klux Klan, descended on the courthouse. Inside, dozens of black citizens were trapped, defending their right to participate in democracy. For hours, it was a tense standoff. Sweat, fear, and the constant threat of gunfire hung in the air. Then, on Easter Sunday, the standoff exploded into a massacre. The attackers, frustrated and growing more aggressive, set the courthouse on fire, forcing the defenders out into the open. As people fled the smoke and flames, they were met with a hail of bullets. Those who surrendered were captured, and many were executed later that night. The violence was brutal and absolute. When it was all over, more than 60 black men were dead. Some estimates put the number as high as 150. It was a horrific act of political violence, one of the worst of its era. And yet, almost no one was ever held accountable. In the aftermath, the federal government's attempts to prosecute the perpetrators were ultimately undermined. The Supreme Court, in a case known as United States v. Cruikshank, issued a ruling that severely weakened the federal government's power to protect the civil rights of African Americans. This decision effectively gave a green light to violent intimidation as a political tool across the South. The message was clear. White supremacist groups could use terror to regain power, and the federal government wouldn't stop them. Colfax was never the same. Its population declined, fear became a part of daily life, and the story of what happened on that Easter Sunday was systematically erased from history books. Just think about that for a moment. A legal system that fails to deliver justice. Neighbors who turn on each other with deadly violence, and an entire town governed by fear. This wasn't a movie. This wasn't some distant foreign event. It happened right here, in America. These were real people who suffered real deaths because of a real and terrible injustice. And today, almost no one even knows the name Colfax. The memory of that day has all but vanished. So it makes you wonder, if history can so easily erase a tragedy of this magnitude, could it happen again? Thanks for watching. If you found this story important, please share it so that what happened in Colfax is not forgotten.